Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, DMS that ruled well, and peace and salutations to the elect of the true nation of Israel, Yasharallah. I pray that y'all can hear me. I hope you know, uh, you guys can hear me, man. It's raining. Um, because it's raining, I got my AirPods in, and I don't know how well you guys are gonna be able to hear me. Um, it's been, man, before I get started with this lesson, man, it's been raining. I never seen it rain so frequently. I've seen a lot of rain here in Wichita, but I never seen it rain so frequently and steadily, you know, this year, man. I mean, this past, since I've been living here. I lived here my whole life. You know, this year, 2025, it's rained so goddamn much, man. Excuse my language. Yeah, I say goddamn, but we know the true name of the Heavenly Father. All right, it's Yahweh. And did you hear me say uh Yahweh? No, I said goddamn because we know that's a title. God is a title and not the true name. So that's why sometimes you hear brothers say goddamn, you know, we're not blaspheming or we're not blaspheming or saying the Lord's name in vain, man, when we say goddamn. All right, because we know the true name of the Heavenly Father. All right. That's why you don't hear us saying Yahweh Damn, you know, okay. Um, but sometimes, we could hold back on our rude speech sometimes, you know. I try to do it my best because sometimes we know knowing these people in this world, man, coming from this world too, man, you know how sensitive people are concerning cuss words, man. And how hypocritical these people are too, man. All right, especially Jake, the older Jake, all right, all right. They think in their minds, they grew up in plantation Christianity, that they grew up and think in their minds that, oh, you say a cuss word, oh, you can't be serving the Lord correctly because you're saying cuss words, or rude speech, you know, or you're vulgar in your language. All right, which the prophets of old, all right, they were rude in speech. They cussed, they were yelling, all right, cursing their people out, but they did it in righteousness and they did it in the right time. Okay, they said cuss words in the right season. All right, if you know what I mean, in the right season, and in the right manner. Okay, because the time and season for everything, man. You know, but that's beside the point, man. Um, you know, it's lawful to cuss. All right, you can cuss all you want, man, but doing it all the time, doing it out of proportion or just doing it for no reason, man. It could, that it becomes a sin, man. But hey, every brother's different. One brother may cuss or talk different than the other one. So hey, that's why you got to work in the spirit of Yahweh Shai Shai to discern, a brother's spirit. Okay, you know, that brother just, hey, he expresses himself like that, man, and there's nothing wrong with that, because hey, that's how the Lord made him like that, man. If a brother cusses more, but me, um, I could be very rude in speech. I could be very vulgar, but I don't have to, and it's not very edifying or expedient sometimes to be cussing all the time, man. Especially prophesying this truth, man. Okay, okay. I do it when the season's right, man. Okay, when I'm really pissed off in the spirit, righteously pissed off, like the scriptures say, be angry, but sin not. All right. So hey, it's not a sin to cuss. Okay, it's a sin when you're doing it out of hand, unrighteously. But hey, um, that's kind of uh part of the topic of this live lesson, man. This live lesson is going to be is about, man. Concerning Apostle Gabar. All right, he did a video while he was running his 4 mile run. He said he was going to take a break. He ended up saying, you know what? Let me do at least 3 miles. He ended up doing four, and who knows? He might have did five or six. You know, after he turned off the video, because the video he was walking, not running, but he was walking. Okay, you know, getting his exercise in. Okay, and that was the topic of this video, man. You know, get off your behind, get off your ass, man. Exercise. And that's what laying back in off his video and Mahalaya's video. All right, the head brother from Kansas City, man. He did a land back off Fossil Gavar's video. I'm like, you know what? You know, and on topic, concerning bodily exercise profiteth little, but it still profits. Yes, it doesn't say, but it still profits. All right, it doesn't say that after, but that's what that means. Okay, that's what the scripture means. It profits little, but it still profits, man. Okay, just because this truth, the Bible doesn't. Just because the Bible says, it doesn't say, go hit the gym or run a certain amount of miles or eat a certain type of way. You know, it does, but not in those exact words, man. Which Jake, all right, they don't know how to take things in context and apply the scriptures, all right, and walk spiritually, read the scriptures with the spiritual mind and eyes, okay, all right. Um, but hey, knowing that knowing that scripture, all right, okay, exercise profiteth little, okay, okay, knowing that it profits little, all right, we can't just be on the couch or just sitting down all the time, all right. We got to exercise, and I hope the brothers can hear me. It's getting loud, the rain, man. I'm gonna try to speak up. Hey, like I said, man, it's been raining all freaking year, man. All right, I don't understand how. I mean, I know why. The Lord wants it to rain a lot for some reason. It's because of how about me. All right, but hey, uh, hope you guys can hear me, man. Um, but the video is concerning exercising, man. All right, it profits little, but it still profits. Okay, and I'm gonna use myself as an example. I hit the gym very, very frequently, man. I used to hit it more frequently, every day, every other day, man. I used to take a day off, you know, in the week. I used to do 2 days every day, man. I used to hit the gym so much, man. You know, but but now, like, I have a wife and I have a son, a toddler. All right, and they suck up all my time, so I hit the gym as much as I can, but not as much as I used to. Okay, at the gym like twice, 3 times a week, you know. Um, but if it was up to me, I would hit the gym every other day, man. Um, but as many times as I hit the gym and used to hit the gym, man, I would do it for vain purposes. Okay. All right. I would exercise, but I would do it for vanity. Okay. I would do the workouts that I would do. I would be one of those dudes, all right, who'd be in the gym for a couple hours, you know, and I'll do it for vanity. I'll do upper body. I'll be doing so many shoulder workouts, chest workouts, back workouts, you know, abs, biceps, triceps, so I can get that, that really manly, uh, attractive look to me, man. You know, and then skipping out on everything else, man. You know, skip out on legs all the time, and I would, you know, justify myself not doing legs by I'm like, hey, I play basketball though, because I used to play basketball, you know, in a rec league, man. I'm like, I'll just play basketball or do a little bit of workouts concerning basketball instead of hitting squats, instead of running sprints. All right. Um, calf workout, longevity workout, you know, core workouts, jogging, cardio workouts, you know, I'll skip out. I used to skip that a lot, man. I'd be like, now I'm good. I hit those muscles when I play basketball. I'm cool. You know, all right. Or I'm like, I don't want to get too big down there. I don't want to look goofy. I don't want to be a dude with huge thighs and legs and then small arms, upper body. I think that's ugly. Like I said, I used to hit the gym for vanity purposes, man. You know, though I hit the gym and I used to hit the gym even more, a lot. You know, it's no problem hitting the gym. And I feel like shit if I don't. Okay, but I used to do it for vanity purposes, man. So and I still do sometimes, but I do to the best of my ability as of right now and from here on forward, man. You know, to start prioritizing uh exercises for longevity for this truth. Okay, because when we hit the gym, when the scriptures say exercise profiteth little, it's talking about you know doing exercises that keep you uh you know like cardio, health reasons, like longevity reasons, man. You know, see all this acne right here, man. All right, I'm 26, about to turn 27, man. It's unheard of for men. I mean, it's heard of, but men shouldn't be having acne like it's like teenager, man. It's because I would drink and drink. I would eat a lot of protein and carbs and sugars. All right, to maintain my muscle mass. All right, you know, and it would affect my organs. Like what is it, your kidneys or liver, whatever filters out protein. And sugars and carbs. It would mess me up. And this is a sign your body shows you. All right, that hey, 'cause everybody's different. This is a sign your body telling you, hey, you're eating too much protein. Hey, you need to sweat more. You need to do more cardio. You know, all right, this is you're eating too much protein. Your kidneys are yes, your kidneys or organs are suffering. Slow down. Refrain from eating too much protein, man. That's your body telling you that, man. Okay. So um, how do you say it? And some people, all right, I noticed some people they would eat they could eat hella protein, hella sugar, hella alcohol, hella, unhealthy foods, but they don't get acne like me. And I'll be like, what the hell? And then I did some research, and whatnot, and started to see, I did some research and everybody's different, when I eat really unhealthy, I don't get fat, you know, I don't get fat. I get really a lot of acne, you know, okay, when I eat a lot of sugar, too much protein, unhealthy. I get a lot of acne and yeah, really bad acne, man. All right. I don't get fat, man. You know, I can eat I can eat like a person twice my size, man, three times my size, all right, and not get fat, you know. And that's without working out too. All right. I've always had a high metabolism, man. Because growing up, you know, I was a very athletic kid growing up, you know. But as a kid and being athletic, always doing athletic stuff, being outside, when I was a kid, I didn't eat healthy at all. All I ate was ramen noodles, cheese dip, salsa, chips, um, aloe vera juice, but it wasn't the healthy kind of stuff. So, I wasn't eating healthy. I wasn't getting that much nutrients, and I wasn't eating that much either. So, growing up like that, and being uh, whatever body type or blood type I am, that's why I don't gain weight when I eat a lot, eat unhealthy. Like these other Mexicans, these other people, man. You know, you see these other Mexicans. There's like two types of Mexicans, man. Those are that are tall and skinny. You know, the skinny ones, and then there's the ones that gain weight really easy, man. I was never one of those to gain weight. You know, uh, but anyway, yeah, man. From here on out, hey, brothers, work out. Even though uh the brothers, Pastor Bar, and the spirit is pushing out, to exercise. All right, to get off the behind, be more active for the truth for you. How about Shemi Shai? So exercise in wisdom. Okay, do everything in wisdom, like the scriptures say, man. Okay, don't just do things just because you're told to do it. Know the reason and understanding and behind it and what you're doing, man. All right, like growing up as a Kobe fan, Kobe would always say, um, "Hey, you can work out every day, all day, every day, man. But if you're not putting your mind to it, doing things strategically, all right, connecting your mind to your muscles, and focusing while you're working out, while you're exercising and practicing, then there's no point to it, man. You can put 1,000 shots up, all right. Dribble the ball however many this times all day at workout and whatnot. But if you're not focusing and doing it right and doing it with understanding and wisdom, okay, all right, it's you're wasting your time and energy, man. All right. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he said, You know, he would see guys in the gym doing curls all day, every day, man, more than him, but they had tiny biceps, man. All right, and he would always focus on connecting your mind to your muscle, man, and concerning this truth. All right, connect your mind, all right, the spirit and the wisdom of Yahweh Shemi Shai to what you're doing, to what your plans are, all right. And in this case, all right, when it comes to exercising, man, so do exercises like jogging, all right, all right. Don't just jog for 5 minutes. I call it a day. No, push yourself, okay. Jog for the sake of cardio, okay. I like to do sprints, all right, because it boosts human growth hormone. All right, it clears your mind. There's a lot of benefits to sprints, man. All right, doing short distance sprints. All right, for nine, at least nine, around 9 seconds. Depending on the person. You know, I need to do jogging more, but if I jog, I do it for a little bit just to warm up my legs, and then you know, I don't jog for cardio. I do it for how do you say it, to warm up my legs, to loosen up my legs, to wake up my legs. And then for cardio, all right, I play basketball, and I don't just be one of those lazy, nonchalant basketball players. I try. I play good defense. All right. I hustle. Okay. You know, I try to sweat because playing basketball, it's really easy for me to sweat easier, man. All right. Because it's good to sweat out those toxins within us, man. Living in fucking Babylon here in America, all right, we get toxins all the times in the water, in the air, in the food, in the on the clothes. Brushing your teeth, man. The microplastics in your toothbrush, man. So we get toxins and heavy metals all around us, coming inside of us all the time, man. All right, and sweating, all right, is the best way to detox yourself. All right, from heavy metals. All right, it's better than even eating the herbs. Okay, like spirulina and drinking lemon water and these other herbs that help you detox too. So on top of that, on top of eating the herbs, okay, okay, that help you detox these heavy metals, take those herbs that help you detox with or around or while you're doing these while you're sweating and doing cardio, man. All right. And why do we need these heavy metals outside of our body? To leave us to detox from these heavy metals? Because heavy metals affect our mind. Okay. They make your mind dull. All right. Your memory sucks. Okay. Your memory, your mind isn't as sharp. All right. And also you don't feel as good when you have these heavy metals inside of you, man, in your mind. Okay. Okay. So we got to detox from these things. All right. And then also hitting cardio. All right. And hitting your lower body exercises, man. All right. It allows you to feel better. All right. Allows you to do things longer. Concerning this truth, it allows you to stay out there to the highways and byways all right, longer, man. Okay. So, and, so doing these exercises, okay, that help you with this truth, man. All right. Um, I used to have, years ago, first coming into this truth, I used to have back problems and lower body problems. You know, it would be hard for me to stand, for very long, and whatnot, because man, the years before that, before I came, before 2020, like 3 years before that, all I would do would smoke a blunt, you know, okay. I used to smoke a blunt, okay, sit on the chair, all right, and play video games for half a day, you know, and not do nothing. All right. Or I like to play basketball, but I wouldn't exercise at all, man. I'll play basketball, okay, go work or something like that if I had a job, because I used to be off and on jobs, and then I'll be sitting on the couch or on the chair smoking, smoking a blunt and eating unhealthy, so sitting down for long periods of time too, all right, messes up your back, your lower body, your posture. All right. And if you have bad posture, it's going to be hard for you to stand because your body's not used to standing. It's used to sitting. All right. And those muscles, all right, that help support you standing and doing exercises and whatnot, doing normal activities, all right, those muscles are going to get weak. So it's going to be really hard for you to stand, to walk, to stand out there and prophesy for very long. All right. You're gonna be tired, eat more. All right, eat more easily. And you won't be able to do this work, man, which is the work of Yahweh Shem Shai, which is why we're in this thing, man. All right. That's why we exercise for Yahweh Shem Shai, for this truth. All right. Not for vain reasons to have this nice body. There's nothing wrong with having a nice body, man. All right. Okay. Nice upper body. Because hey, women love a man. All right. They love a man with big biceps, shoulders, a really chiseled upper body, all right, neck, jawline and whatnot, you know, okay, abs. But concerning the truth, that doesn't really matter, man, because how heavy is the Bible that we're reading? How heavy is the phone that we're reading? All right. How heavy is the garment that we're putting on each other, man? Okay. How heavy are we to lift ourselves up, as in concerning standing when you go prophesy, man? You know, do you need to lift? All right. Do you need to bench 225? All right. To do the work of Yahweh Shemel Shai? Do you need to squat 300 pounds, 400 pounds? All right. To go out there and prophesy for a couple hours? Is it required? Do you need to? All that's required, all right, is stuff that concerning this truth, man. All right. You don't need a six-pack ab. All right. Abs. All right. Okay. You don't need to look like Dwight Howard in his prime. All right. To be a prophet of Yahweh Shemel Shai, man. All right. Okay. There's nothing wrong with hitting upper body, man. Hitting back, hitting biceps, shoulders, chest. Because like Mahalai was saying, hey, hey, Apostle Gabar, he was saying, hey, man, there's a lot of goofies out here, man. All right, knuckleheads who will test you. All right, okay. So hey, yeah, hit upper body too, man. Okay, all right. Try to push yourself. Okay, but remember in the same sentence, man. Hey, that's not in the same breath that's not our priority. Okay, so exercise, man, but exercise with wisdom. Okay, you know, don't set an unrealistic goal in the gym. All right, that's gonna get you more focused on hitting that goal in the gym than focusing on your spiritual goals with Yahweh Shem Shai. You know, okay, but hey, hit upper body, hit squats, hit those heavy weights too, hit deadlifts, okay, bench press. All right, I like to do dips. You know, I stopped doing bench press. I, you know, hit weighted dips. I could do like now. I could probably do like maybe 25 to 30 uh, free weight dips. We all know what dips are, man. They go like this. You know, body weight dips. I could probably like do 25 to 30 now. You know, because yesterday I had the chain around my belt and I had the 45 hanging down low. All right. I was doing weighted dips. I could do like a good three 45, plate dips, you know, and then I went down to 35 to 25. I don't remember how much I did. I just did however much I could. And then I took a little break and then I did just my body weight in dips. And man, I did 20 easy, easy. I think I did 22 or 23 easy, man. I'm like, shit. All right, next time I do dips, I'm gonna just see how many I could do, you know, you know, because hey, just doing dips, you don't gotta do upper chest, because really upper chest, how many times, all right, all right, in the world or in a fight, okay? Because hey, there's like Apostle Gabar was talking about and Mahalaya we're talking about, man. Hey, there's a lot of knuckleheads, and you know what they mean by knuckleheads. People are gonna try to try you physically or try to fight you, man. All right. Which hey, we advocate physical contact to be the absolute last resort. We'll rather call the cops on you before we even think about touching you, man. Concern physical fights, man, because we don't want to get the ministry blamed. We don't want to look. make our apostles, all right, our fellow brothers in this truth look bad because hey, we're acting an ass. All right, we're acting out, acting like a jackass, fighting dudes, man, who are talking shit, you know, on us out there on the highways and byways, man. Okay, fighting, getting into physical contact is our last resort, but mostly Mahalaya was talking about, when all hell breaks loose, when Jacob's trouble comes, man. Okay, when Jacob's trouble comes, okay, hey, possibly, all right, maybe 50 out of 50%, chance that, hey, you're gonna have to get physical with somebody like a neighbor or a cop, a UN troop, okay, an animal, okay, okay, people trying to grab you up and whatnot, and you're gonna possibly, hey, some brothers are gonna have to defend themselves physically, man. All right, but at the end of the day, all right, our salvation, we rely and we trust fully in Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, that He's going to deliver us out of any physical situation, any situation. If it be spiritual, mental, physical, emotional, all right? Any situation, man, okay? So, though exercise profits, okay, it profits little, okay? All right. You know, but yeah, yesterday, more about my workout. I was doing squats, leg workouts, you know, I was even doing hip thrusts because when you tighten your glutes, all right, because I'm sitting all the time, man. I'm sitting right now, man. Even on break at work, I'm sitting. I, my son. I mean, my son's with his grandparents, taking care of him while me and my wife are at work, and they live on the other side of town. Where we live is on the other side of town. Where I work is on the other side of town. So I'm driving all the time, every day, man. So I'm sitting a lot, you know. And when I'm sitting a lot, you get something called some brothers suffer from it. You get something called hip um hip what is it called? I forgot what it's called, man. Interior hip um tilt or something like that. Well, your hips, it's hard for you to stand straight, you know, you know, um, it's called it's where your glutes right here, your hip area is it stays stuck. All right. Your muscles get used to being in that sit down position, your legs up position. All right. And that affects your back strength. All right. If your glutes are loose like that a lot, all right, it affects your lower body, your back. Okay, you know, it's hard for you to stand that much if it gets that serious. If it gets that bad, So brothers, hey, though we sit a lot, when you're in the gym, if you're a brother like me who sits a lot, who's always sitting, all right, who can't help it, because hey, it's not my fault. You know that everybody lives across. I'm driving all the time, man. All right. So I have to, when I hit the gym, all right, and if you're a brother like me who sits a lot, all right, involuntarily sits a lot, okay, yeah, involuntarily sits a lot, then when you hit the gym, do workouts that help with uh strengthening and tightening and also loosening and the hip area, man. uh Squats, okay, sprints, okay, running, jogging. All right, loosen that area up by running, jogging, walking a lot, as much as you can. All right. And hip thrusts, all right, so you can tighten the glutes, because when you're sitting down, your loose or I mean your glutes are in an extended position a lot. All right. Okay. And then when you stand up to do work, all right, your glutes are so used to being in that extended position that uh when you tighten them to stand up, your glutes are like, "What the hell is this, man? Why are you doing this?" And then your body's like, "Fuck it, let's use our lower back, all right, to support our lower body instead of our glutes, because our glutes are fucked up from sitting down all the time, man." So yeah, it goes that deep, man. So hey, know your body, man. All right, know your body, know your situation, and when you hit the gym, okay, do workouts that can help, help you do this work. All right, the work of Yahweh Shemi Shai more easily and better, man. Okay, and make life easier on you, man. All right, just because we're in a low state, or we're doing the work of the Lord, doesn't mean you have to do it. Doesn't mean you have to be in a low. You don't have to be in the mire. All right, you don't have to be suffering all the time. All right, do things. Do things like exercise and whatnot. Strengthen yourself where for doing the work, it becomes easier and smoother, and it feels better when you go do it, man. For instance, exercising, eating healthy. You know, okay, all right, all right. What's another thing, man? Yeah. I'm gonna end it right there. I had some precepts, that I was gonna roughly paraphrase, like Sirach, was it 37 and 37? Where it says, don't give, know yourself, all right, prove yourself, and don't give unto it, don't give that unto it, or don't give yourself something that's gonna hinder you from doing the work, something, don't strengthen your weaknesses, don't exercise and strengthen your flesh, okay, or the carnality, the carnal side of yourself, but strengthen the spirit, man. All right, those that profit Yahweh Shema Shai in this truth, man. All right. There's another precept I wanted to roughly paraphrase. All things are expedient. I mean, all things are lawful. It's lawful to hit upper body and hit the gym all the time and do things. Sometimes for vanity. There's no wrong with doing shoulder workouts, bicep, upper body workouts all the time. But if you do it but if you do it all the time and do that and prioritize that over your lower body, other things, all right, and you eat all this protein, you know, spend all this money, hey man, you can be using that time and energy and money towards the truth. All right. You know, so hey, brothers, stay wise, exercise in wisdom. Okay. Exercise profits little. All right. But as us men of Yahweh Shem Yahshai, as us men of Yahweh Shem Yahshai say, it still profits. So when you hit the gym, all right, do it with wisdom, with understanding. Okay. Don't just be hitting the gym because you want to be this big brolic Jake, a mighty man. Okay. Hit the gym for also longevity reasons. All right. For reasons to for cardio, for health reasons, to make sure you're good on the inside, all right, of yourself, not just the outer appearance. Okay. It's not all about strength. Oh, I can bench five, I can bench 225. It's not all about that, man. All right. Great. There's nothing wrong with that. Beautiful, man. You know, hey man, you could defend us out there on the highways and byways if it goes down like that. But hey, when will it ever go down like that? We advocate for it not to go down physically like that anyway. So how profitable is that to be benching, all right, to be able to bench 225 to 300 pounds? It profits little. See? See how we got to apply the scriptures, man? All right. So do exercise in wisdom, Hakim. Hope things are edifying to the elect. Shalom.